Panel never heard of in United States. Trump's Department of Government Efficiency. Cleaning the bureaucratic system. Musk, Ramaswamy in Trump's 2.0. Concerns over Musk in panel. Conflict of interest surrounds Musk.
It's official, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump has a Department of Government Efficiency and he has picked the world's richest man, Elon Musk, and Indian origin Vivek Ramaswamy as the men leading it. It's a department that will work outside of the Trump cabinet and carry out its task. Talking about tasks, DOGE has its task cut out, dismantling government bureaucracy, slashing excess regulations, cutting wasteful expenditures, and restructuring federal agencies. Top agenda for the DOGE. And they have time till the 4th of July 2026 to complete them. The assertion while setting up DOGE is that they will liberate the economy. But as soon as the appointments were announced, concerns of conflict of interest arose. Billionaire Elon Musk owns space exploration company SpaceX, electric vehicle pioneering company Tesla, Neuralink that helps people with paralysis communicate using brain activity, a construction company called The Boring Company, AI mission Psi, and social media platform X. Now, it clearly blurs the lines between public service and corporate profit. Would his actions in DOGE be driven by his own vested interests? DOGE, which is also an acronym of a cryptocurrency that Musk supports, has an influence on the cryptocurrency market. And will it send it in a tizzy now? Can market manipulation be ruled out with DOGE coming in Team Trump 2.0? Let's get a wider perspective on this. On the broadcast, I'm joined by Pastor Mark Burns. He's founder of the Now Television Network, also the spiritual advisor of Donald Trump. I'm also joined by Christopher Hale, Democratic strategist, and Professor Madhav Nalappa, geopolitical expert and vice chair, Manipal Advanced Research Group, also joins us. Good evening. Namaskar to all of you, gentlemen. Pastor Mark Burns, let me begin with you. There are lots of concerns about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy being in the Department of Government Efficiency. There are lots of tasks that they have been given. But the first concern among people is how far will Elon Musk be influencing the decisions and the policies of Donald Trump?
Well, I think this is a breath of fresh air to appoint Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, excuse me, who Elon Musk is known for creating new ways of creating great cash flow and saving money. I mean, what he did with Twitter when he first bought it in 2022, firing 80% of that workforce. That's over 6,000 employees that he deemed that was unnecessary, and it caused Twitter to be in a $3 billion deficit. So he is known able to go in and to remove the bureaucracy that's slowing down the process and costing American taxpayers dollars. I think that's what the American people will be excited about. It's because the bureaucracy that slows up the process, that slows up the federal government to work for the American people. That's the purpose of the federal government, is to work for the American people. But when you're doing unnecessary spending, when you're hiring unnecessary people, and you are slowing up the process for the government to efficiently work for the American people, people become distrustful of the federal government and don't want to be a part of it or deal with it even. So I'm excited, and the American people are excited that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, both who are known for creating new ways for businesses to be done and saving taxpayer dollars at the same time. This is going to be a revolutionary. As President Trump said, this is going to be the Manhattan Project of our day. It's going to send shockwaves throughout all of the agencies for the federal government so that it can efficiently work for the American people.
Okay. Christopher Hale, you want to respond to what Pastor Mark Burns is saying. This is not the first time that United States will see a businessman working alongside a government. And, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are not part of the Trump cabinet. They're working outside of the government, and they have their time till the 4th of July, 2026. So they're not really, part of the Trump cabinet, so to say. Then why such concerns of, there's a conflict of interest, or whether Elon Musk will heavily be influencing the decisions of Donald Trump?
Well, look, Donald Trump gave these men till July 4th, 2026, so they have a little over 18 months to achieve their mandate. I have been privy to be a part of one of Donald Trump's commissions. I was actually part of his Office of Innovation and Government that he created in 2017. And let me tell you something, we did absolutely nothing. So this is not the first time that Donald Trump has come into office, the second term. During his first 4 years in office, the deficit ballooned by greater amounts than any other 4-year term of any president in this nation's history. Donald Trump has bankrupted 14 times. I'll be very intrigued to see if he actually can turn around this time, because he had a chance. His first term as president, he promised cuts, he promised government innovation, and we got none of it. So it strikes me as, actually, I think this is a move by Susie Wiles to if you don't want something to happen in Washington, if you want to give someone zero power, you create a blue ribbon commission. So I think this is a joke. It's called DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. It's named after a Bitcoin that Elon Musk was a part of, DOGE. This is a joke. It's a troll. But you know what? Godspeed. If they can achieve something in the next 18 months, I'll give them praise. But I'll join you on July 4th, 2026, and I guarantee you, this is my bet, that this commission will have done nothing except release a press release today.
Before I get Pastor Mark Burns to respond to you, Christopher, what do you make of these reported spendings that the government, the Kamala and the Biden administration have done so far? There are reports of the CBO revealing that at least 1,264 federal programs and bureaus had expired authorizations, yet they received about $516 billion in funding. Then there are bizarre spending details that are coming out, such as $33.2 million being spent on transgender monkey research. The NIH spending part of $2.7 million grant to study Russian cats walking on a treadmill. What do you make of these kind of details emerging of the government spending so far then?
Well, I mean, this is exactly why DOGE is important. This is exactly why Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy's role is going to be so important.
Pastor Mark Burns, I'll come back to you. This was for Christopher.
Oh, okay.
Let me get him to respond to this, and then I'll come back to you for your response.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Christopher,
no,
go
it's
ahead.
completely fine. No, I mean, I think that I've been in and around Washington for 15 years. The government wastes money left and right. There's no doubt about it. There is an administrative state. I'm a Democrat, and I can concede that there's an administrative state that wastes money. It is a bipartisan reality that this government wastes money. The federal government is prone time and again to waste money. And you know what? Once again, if Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy can't put an axe to it, Godspeed. The reality of it is, though, that Donald Trump, once again, this spending also, the spending that you just highlighted, occurred in very similar ways in the 4 years that he was president. We have an out-of-control deficit. Donald Trump added to that deficit in his 4 years as president. If he changes tracks this time, I'll give him credit for it. He just doesn't have a history of doing so. So I think it's a noble initiative that's been tried time and again. I just don't see it going forward as it hasn't gone forward in the past.
Okay. Pastor Mark Burns, respond to what Christopher is saying. Also, there are concerns coupled with this. The fact that, a billionaire, a businessman is coming too close to a government, and, how close is too uncomfortable? How close will Elon Musk get to Donald Trump and his policy and his decision-making that it makes, the average American uncomfortable with the kind of influence that might come in?
Well, at the end of the day, again, a billionaire, a businessman knows how to spend as little money as possible, create a machine that will produce more money. The whole ideal is that the American people benefit. I mean, you just mentioned the ridiculous spending of transgender cats and federal prisoners receiving transgender surgeries that the American people are paying for. This is how the Democratic policies were spending their money, creating this ridiculous economic crisis that the American people are currently in. I would take a businessman any day who may have been bankrupt several times, but came back from those bankruptcies and created a multi-billion-dollar industry successfully and created more business ventures that are successful today, and someone that has the ability to create jobs and create efficiency. The federal government is known as my colleague just stated, for ridiculous spending. And so the ideal is this Save America agenda, which is stop the ridiculous spending, put money back into the American people, find out where we are spending money ridiculously, like some of these wars that we're sending billions of dollars, while FEMA, for this latest hurricane that we just happened a month ago, where people are still without power, FEMA ran out of money. Right? They were blocking people like Elon Musk who wanted to come into North Carolina, which is right up the street from where I'm currently at now, to save and help these people. So the ridiculous spending is out of control. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy has been charged by my dear friend, President Trump, to make sure that we find out where is the ridiculous spending happening. Do what you did for X or Twitter. Find out where we are spending money, where we should not be spending money, so that money can be saved and put back towards the American economy, the American people. That's why people are getting behind it. Of course, there are always going to be critics. But again, I'll take a businessman who has been bankrupt several times, but has come back from those bankruptcies to create billions of dollars and help the American economy, and done it when he was president the first time. One of the greatest economies we've ever had.
Then help me
prior to
understand.
COVID.
While you say this, let me also understand from you then, are you telling me then that there will be nothing that Elon Musk would think about when he's making these decisions in DOGE with regard to his own companies, with regard to SpaceX, with regards to Tesla, with the kind of AI research he wants to do, with the kind of space exploration that he wants to get into? Are you telling me that he's going to be completely neutral in this entire DOGE mission, DOGE activities, and he will not think about the kind of investments and the kind of businesses that he has?
Well, I trust the judgment of my friend, President Trump. And the president made it very clear the first group of characters that was hired by him was recommended by people who were, that they told him, this is who you need to hire. They advised him, you need to hire this person, you need to hire that person, you need to hire that person. And these people turned out to be bad characters in the first presidency. The president is wiser now. He's already been down this road. He knows exactly who needs to be hired. He knows exactly who needs to be advising him. And many of my close friends are filling these roles right now as we speak, and I know them personally. And I'm telling you that the focus for this administration is not SpaceX, is not Tesla, is not X. It is the American people saving money so that the American economy can be saved, so that the American saving American policies, the America First policies, are being pushed in every sector of American government, so that these citizens of the greatest nation in the world are being serviced properly by the government that is in place to serve us. That's the whole purpose of DOGE. That's what it's going to achieve. Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk both have experience in doing just this. And so for me, I only see nothing but good coming out of this that is designed for the American people. That's what President Trump ran on. And that's what he's fulfilling those promises right now by appointing Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to DOGE, who has experience and a proven track record of finding out where money is being spent
Pastor Burns, they've got time till the 4th of July, 2026.
So that the money that's being spent inefficiently, it will go towards the American people.
Okay, let's wait and watch how this really pans out. But let me get in Professor Madhav Nalapat into this conversation. Professor Nalapat, you and I are not directly in this entire American election. We're not living in America. We're not directly impacted by it, but the ripple effects of what happens in America goes to the entire world. How do you see this entire DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency? How do you see a businessman, a billionaire being so close to a government which is supposed to be formed in a few days from now? How do you see that really moving forward? And the fact that in the past few days we've also seen Elon Musk being present in a call between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky. Donald Trump is supposed to be meeting the House GOP today, where Elon Musk is also expected to be present. How do you see this closeness influencing Donald Trump's next presidency?
Well, look, I'd like to say that this presidency will be very different from the previous presidency. In his previous presidency, you will recollect the bureaucracy. And I mean, one can't blame them because Trump basically abhors the bureaucracy. They went out of their way to sabotage any initiative of his. Not only a bureaucracy, key elements of his cabinet went out of their way to, as they themselves confessed in books and in interviews, that they wanted to be the adults in the room, as though Donald Trump was some juvenile. He knows all that's happening. He knew all that was happening, and I don't think he lacks the understanding to prevent much of that from happening now. Now, Shreya, everybody's talking about DOGE, but don't forget, what comes to my mind are the Doges of Venice, 1,000-year rule of the Doges of Venice.
Professor Nalapat, apologize for intervening. I'd just like to inform our viewers, those are live visuals coming in from the White House, where Donald Trump, the president-elect, is meeting with the current president, Joe Biden. That smooth transition of the government happening. We are getting those live shots. Yeah, there you go. The live shots from the White House coming in at this moment, where both leaders are present. Remember back in 2020 when Donald Trump had lost the election. This is, a traditional invitation that goes on from the current president to the president-elect. That was not extended on part of Donald Trump. But this time around, President Joe Biden and Donald Trump meeting at the White House. The two leaders are still settling in there, I believe. We'll keep getting you the latest from White House, but let's get back to our discussion. Professor Nalapat, please go on.
Look, I would like to say very clearly that Elon Musk was wise in not being a part of government. When you're a part of government and you're a big businessman, you're going to lose money. And Trump lost money in his first term. He's going to lose money in his second term. Otherwise, he's going to land up in serious trouble. I don't think Elon Musk wants that, so he's keeping out of government. This is not a formal government department. It's an informal advisory committee, and of two as of now. And this committee, the president may or may not agree with their advice, but it's the president and those around him who have got operational capability who are going to take the decisions. And I doubt that Elon Musk, I mean, he must be having a battery of lawyers, given the amount of wealth he's got, and that they would be very clear as to how he needs to avoid any so-called conflict of interest. And like I said, everybody has jumped to a conclusion this is about crypto. No, in my view, it's more ambitious than that. It's a historical reference to the Doges of Venice, who lasted 1,000 years. So the signal is these reforms are going to last 1,000 years. Whether Trump succeeds or not, I don't know. Whether Musk succeeds in avoiding problems because he's so close to the President of the United States, who's not very popular with many people. And I've heard some ridiculous things said about him. For example, that, he will throw Taiwan under the bus. All his cabinet picks are basically very realistic about the problem that the United States faces with China. I don't see any of them looking at throwing Taiwan under the bus. all kinds of ridiculous charges are now being flung at him before he takes charge, to discredit him before he takes charge. And
Yeah.
I think that, frankly, is not really fair, Shreya. Biden may treat him very nicely, but
Okay,
a lot
let
of
me,
people
Professor
are
Nalapat, let me take this
all
across to
kinds of things
Christopher
about it.
Hale. Yeah. Christopher, we've been having these conversations since Donald Trump won this election. And, you can stand against Donald Trump, but you have to give him that benefit of doubt. You have to give him a chance to prove himself once again in this presidency. Are you being too early to judge Donald Trump then?
No, I mean, I think that, look, he not only won this presidency, he won the popular vote for the first time in 3 tries. He won almost, just a little bit
Yes.
shy. It looks like he'll come up just a little bit shy of 50% of the American people. They voted for him. My fellow citizens, I disagree with them, but I honored the majesty of the American presidential election. I wish President Trump had done the same thing in 2020, but the American people did elect him, and so it is his government's run. And we will have a chance, to go back in 2 years and give judgment on his efforts, and then again in 4 years, he won't be on the ballot ever again under our Constitution. So really, it will be up to his successors, the successors of the MAGA movement, to get a verdict from the American people. I just want to see the images that we showed here. Give me a sign of hope. I'm proud of my president, our president, Joe Biden. Extending a hand to Donald Trump that once again was not extended to him in 2020, and honoring the majesty of the American electorate. The peaceful transition of power, peaceful transfer of power, is a trademark of what makes this country great. Professor was talking about DOGE being referencing a millennia, 1,000 years. This republic is just short of 250 years. I don't know. I think a lot of my compatriots, a lot of Democrats are skeptical of the long-term viability of the American project, and if Donald Trump honors that. But we sure hope he does, and we hope and pray that this country will last 1,000 years in the future. And I'll say this: I think that President Biden extending a hand to President Trump is exactly what the Democratic Party ought to do. We'll be vigilant, but we honor this election.
Christopher, you said that he's not going to be elected again, but this is what Donald Trump said to the House GOP. He said, I suspect I'm not going to be running again unless they say he's so good. We've got to figure something out. So that is quintessential Donald Trump for you. But Professor Nalapat, before I wrap up, a quick 30-second reply from you. Here in India, do we need a DOGE?
Look, every country needs to remove inefficiencies in government, corruption in government. There's no question about it. And as I understand the American system as a citizen of India, it's after you can't have more than 8 consecutive years. And if you've been absent for 4 years, you can contest for a second time, and possibly more, as I understand the American system. So I'm saying that this barrage of lies against Trump, which has been going on now since 2021, the barrage of prosecutions, all this is what has made Donald Trump popular among the people, because each prosecution has served to reinforce his popularity. And we're talking about inflation here. My American friends should understand what Donald Trump and certainly J.D. Vance does, which is that a lot of that inflation is caused by the Ukraine war. The way the Biden administration has been supercharging the Ukraine war, and the way the Biden administration has been imposing sanctions in a manner that is destroying the US dollar. Some of us have written about this from 2022 onwards, even earlier. So I invite my American friend to please read that. The reality of the situation is, frankly, the American people have changed, and Donald Trump adjusted to that change. I'm sorry to say, Biden did not, even in terms
Professor
of change
Nalapat,
into
I
Asia.
hope Donald Trump respects that popular mandate and he, matches his actions with his words. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much to all of you gentlemen, Professor Nalapat, Pastor Burns, and Christopher Hale. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us on Global Mirror and sharing your perspective.